Hey, what's up, builders? It's your girl, Kantoinette the blogger, and you are now listening to the LBF podcast. This is another creating space, and I have Danica, or you can call her Dani, another Dani here on the show, and she's going to be talking about all the awesome creative ventures that she has going on. There are a lot that she has going on, and so we're going to get into each one of those. So go ahead and say something for the builders.
I really don't know what to say, but hey, what's up? I just introduced myself. I'm Danica. You can call me Danny. I'm a filmmaker, photographer, videographer. I am a self-care, self-love advocate. Yeah, so that's about me.
All great things. Where are you based out of?
Well, I am from New York, but I live in Atlanta. I just moved here actually last September.
Really? How's that experience been for
Yeah,
you?
it's been okay.
Why have
It's
you?
been okay.
Why did you make the transition?
It was really to hold. I really don't. It was just like a sudden move for me because I'm not like a stable person. Like I could just get up and go
Right.
whenever I feel like it. I don't have anything holding me back. No kids, no man or nothing. So
Right.
it's like when I feel like, oh, I just want to be around something new and experience something new. I just feel like I don't
That's
want nothing to hold me back from doing that. So I
right.
just
A
did it.
true free spirit. Like that's the best
Yeah.
creative energy right there. But I could definitely see like the New York influences all throughout like your photos, your work. And
Hmm.
so I definitely it clicks for me. But that's why I asked. And I was like, I think she's in Atlanta, but I wasn't sure. So all right. So, builders, she is a producer, a director, a screenwriter, a videographer, a photographer, and she also has her own business. um, Holistic business, like you said, you feed into good energy, waste bees, and what else? Products do you provide?
And right now I'm doing waist beads and bracelets. Originally I wanted to do candles, but I wanted to make them myself. But the way my work schedule is, your girl don't have that time to do them. So I was just like,
Oh, yeah.
okay. I remember during the beginning of the pandemic, I started like buying waist bead stuff because I wanted waist beads, and it was like, oh, I don't know where to buy them from, so I just started doing it myself. And
Right.
then people started asking me like, where you get your waist beads from? I'm like, I do it myself. So then I was like, man, I'm about to make this into a business.
There's nothing
So
wrong
then
with
I was
that.
like, okay, I started doing the waist beads, and around July, August, that was my transition from New York to Atlanta. So I was just like back and forth because I moved from New York to South Carolina to Atlanta.
Oh, what part
Sorry,
of
my
South
phone.
Carolina? Oh no, you're fine.
Georgetown.
Okay, yeah, you're not
So
too far. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
my
not.
mother, she lives in Georgetown, but then I have like my grandparents and my father's side, they live in New York. So
Mm,
I moved with her for like a couple of weeks until I moved to Atlanta. So it was
mhm.
just like hard trying to make my waist beads and stuff. So I just stopped doing it. And now it's like since it's warming up and stuff like that, I'm starting to pick back up to get, more money and more clients.
I know that's right. I'll definitely be on the lookout. I am a waist bead girl. Like I have
Hmm.
tons and tons of waist beads. I switch them out every so often. So I was looking at your website earlier and I was just like, yeah, I need some of these. It's like you said, it's getting warmer and my stomach will be
Yeah.
full. So okay, let me get back into the look. I just got thrown off actually trying to learn about some of your background stuff, but
Hmm.
let's get into how would you describe your creative energy and your manifestation?
Like you said, I'm very free spirited. I'm definitely open to learning new things. I think I just consider myself the black sheep in my family because I don't go by like what I was taught. Like
Hmm.
it's like I know it, but it's like I know it's like so much more to learn and so much more to know, and I'm not like closed in from learning anything else or
Right.
from learning something from like a different culture or from a different religion or anything like that. Because I feel like knowledge is power, and the more you know, the more you will understand how the way things work and like stuff like that. So I definitely consider myself a free spirit, and with manifestation. I believe in manifestation highly, so I try to be very careful how I speak and what I say. You know, I'm actually like on this thing because I know I complain a lot.
Or you're trying
Like
to do.
I'll call my friends and my mom and I'll just like complain. And I'm just like, okay, I have to put myself like, I gotta do something so I can like stop complaining so much. So now I'm just like,
Yeah.
every time I complain, $5.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
you
you gotta
tax
stop.
yourself?
Yes.
I might have to do that. I actually realized that probably a year or two ago. I was just like,
Mhm.
it's one thing to vent, but then you borderline on
Yeah.
complaining. And like when it's complaining when you finish and you don't feel better, like
Right.
you feel like the
Mhm.
energy is just actually went down a few octaves. So
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely get that. So I might need to look into
Yeah. I mean, it
taxing
helps because
myself.
that comes out of the spending money. So it's like the less
Right.
money I have to spend and do what I want to do.
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
can't
get
do
it
it. You gotta
right.
get it together.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Y'all hear that, builder? So if you are bad at complaining, maybe think about getting you a little mason jar or something and
Mhm.
taxing yourself. I don't know how well that's gonna work out.
It's discipline though.
It has to be like and that's
Yeah.
something I always try to work on because I'm good at it in some areas, in other areas I'm just horrible at it. So that's great advice. Um, how did you come to be involved in so many like creative ventures? Like what
Girl, I
came
was curious
first?
and what came first will probably be fashion.
Okay.
When I was a little girl, I was like into fashion. My mother, she told me this story all the time. She was like, when I was younger, she used to go to like a parenting class or whatever, and she used
Hmm.
to complain about like she won't let me dress her, Danica won't let me dress her. She want to wear what she want to wear. Like I was in kindergarten at that point, and I used to hate when my mother dressed me. Like I wanted to dress
Right.
myself, and then the lady, her counselor was telling her just let her be free, let her dress herself, let her express herself the way she want to. And from that, I
Hmm.
was dressing myself from elementary to now. And for my high school graduation, I drew out my own prom dress. My grandmother, she know how to sew, so she made my prom dress. I
Oh
was like really,
wow.
yeah, I was really into fashion, really into like designing my own stuff, and I just knew I was gonna be a fashion designer. But that was
What
just back
happened with that?
then.
Oh, did you
I don't
transition
know.
out of it or
Yeah, just like, you just
right?
outgrow things. But I still love fashion, but I know designing is not like my lane. But for like me personally, I like to, dress up, and get cute.
Right. Do you
But
consider
like it went
yourself a
from
model?
I wouldn't consider myself a model, but like if someone asks me like, can I take pictures of you? Then
Hmm.
I'll do it because that's where like most of my modeling stuff come from. People asking me to model for them, and I'll just
Right.
say yeah because I mean it's fun. But professionally, that's not anything that I would want to do professionally because
I actually
modeling is
understand
hard.
that. I understand that.
And I don't have patience to be still like this for so long. I remember one time I
Yeah.
did a nude shoot and I was just like, I can't do this because I was cold and I had to stay still and I was like, I can't do this.
It's too much
I
work.
don't know how they do it, but you know.
Okay.
But yes, it went from fashion and then it started growing into like me like doing videos. I remember like movie magic. I used to like take pictures and like make
Oh,
video collages or whatever, like videos from the pictures I made and like from like videos that we had. I used to make videos. I used to take every Christmas I asked for a camera. So every Christmas I asked for a camera, get a camera, and I'm just like snapping pictures, and stuff like that. So I mean,
right.
it's been since I was like a little girl. I've been like in a whole bunch of things.
So when did you first fall in love with like film and filming things, like actually, projects and everything like that?
It wasn't until my senior year in college.
Okay. Where'd you go to
I
school
went
at?
to school for mass communication, Claflin University.
Okay, Claflin. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to school for mass communication and my understudy was TV production because I wanted to do like production. I wanted to like be editing shows and working in the control room and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And for my senior project, we had the choice to like, do a talk show, do a TV show, do a radio show, or make a film. I decided to make a film and I got like a lot of good feedback. I entered into my school's film festival. I got third place. I should have got first, but we're not gonna talk about that.
You better speak it.
um, and then my professors, they were like really shocked at the outcome of it, and they were telling me like you should like look into film school, and that's what I did. And like from then, that was the wrap.
Right. So did you go to film school?
Yeah, I went to SCAD.
Oh, you went to SCAD. How was that?
Mhm. It was an interesting experience as a young Black woman in
Mm-hmm.
a predominantly white environment.
Yeah.
um,
I visited SCAD one. I think I was still in high school when we took a tour,
mhm.
but it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a beautiful school. It's a lot of resources there. The people that I've met are amazing. I'm still connected to a lot of people
Hmm.
that I've met there, even some professors. So I mean, it was a good experience, but it's something didn't go as expected. Some things I
Yeah,
didn't like about it.
especially coming from a HBCU, I can definitely see
Yes,
how
it's
that's.
it's such a different environment. I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay, let me just do what I gotta do.
Right. I'm just here to learn.
hmm But it was
Okay.
cool because all the Black people, we had like our own community. They had like I forgot the name of the organization for like Black artists there.
Yeah.
So it's like cool. We all got to meet up and learn from each other, work with each other and stuff.
Do you still work with people from the club?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
Um, how have you found different parts of yourself through all of your creative ventures? Like, what have you learned about yourself?
Um, I learned a lot. Like I'm always learning. It's like when you be like as an artist, like when you're like working on something and you just realize like things aren't going as planned.
Mm-hmm.
So you realize like where your weak areas are in life and like in general, like working on different projects, and you just have to sit back and realize like, okay, this is where I'm weak in. Like, how can I strengthen that area in
Right.
my life or strengthen that area, as an artist and stuff like that. So just being able to acknowledge, where I'm weak at and, to learn from it and grow from it. I feel like that's how I learn me.
Mm-hmm.
It's accepting, like knowing and accepting and then like growing from that.
Right. Being honest with yourself and like kind of
Yeah.
strengthening. I know with me, it's like a strengthening of my self awareness because you can know like you're not great at something, but you might not fully embrace it or accept it because it's
hmm
uncomfortable to say like you're not great at everything.
Right.
So I definitely do understand that viewpoint because if you're not growing from your creations or they're not teaching you something, then you need to figure out something that's going to be more challenging for you. You may have
Right.
mastered that thing already. So I love that. How would you have you developed any full projects yet? I was looking, but I couldn't
hmm
find anything right off the bat. So I said I was just gonna wait to ask you.
Okay, so I've like in school, in graduate school when I went to SCAD, I did produce, written, and directed some shorts. But
Okay.
after school, I started working full time and like I started doing like more so PA work.
Okay.
So I really didn't have time to like actually go out and work on my own stuff because like I was on set for 12 to 16 hours a day,
I understand
tired,
that.
like and then when I'm off, all I want to do is like relax and just be
Rest.
around family and
Mhm.
friends. So like I was doing that. And I also like was working as a full-time videographer, like traveling, doing that. So it was like I didn't really have time to like really produce and direct films like I wanted to. So
Mhm.
now that I moved to Atlanta, I I am making the time to do it. So I actually written a short film and I plan to produce it and direct it in June. Yeah. And then I've written another short film too, so I plan to produce and direct that one when I'm finished with that as well. So I feel like now that I've had the experience to work under experienced people, I have the opportunity now to like do my own things.
So you've had internships that you've taken to, grow your own skill set and your own talent?
Right after undergrad, I worked at a film production company and I worked at a radio station because I was also interested in radio as well. I did that for a year and then I went to SCAD and then I had the opportunity to be a PA on Baywatch the movie when I was working at SCAD.
Mhm.
So that was a good experience. And then I moved to after school, I moved back to New York and then I was a PA on FBI and I was a PA on Power. So that was a good experience. So like most of my experience came from like my internships after undergrad and then like working as a PA after was it grad school? Yeah, after grad school.
Right. How did you
Yeah.
feel when you got like your first like big project that you were able to work on?
I was excited. I was excited, but I was expecting Like all of like the long hours, being on my feet for 12 to 16 hours, the like it is so crucial in it, like working on film, because everybody just like it's so fast, like go, go, go. Like I can't just stand in one spot and expect for someone to tell me what to do. I have to be on my toes and know like what to do. So it was just like me,
Right.
like, okay, I have to like kind of read people's minds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, let me see what she's thinking. Let me see what needs to be done. Let me see, it's just like making sure I'm like going, go, go, go. It was like a different thing for me, like coming from grad school to working on films, like student sets, to like, okay, this is like a big production. I can't mess up on this. Like I have to be on my toes. Like I have to like, be aware of everything that's going on so I won't mess
Right.
up. Because like I remember being on set one time and like the lady, like the AD, she told us PAs, like, if y'all don't find the thing, all y'all gonna get fired. I'm just like, okay, we gotta find the walkies because they're mad crucial. And it's like, and it's not to like, to harm anyone. It's just like this is nothing to play with. Like, there's
Right.
money being put into this. So I understand.
That I think that's
So it's
always.
experience.
I bet it is. 'Cause you learn to have like what snacks on hand, water, so because
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to be able to get like a lunch break probably.
Right.
So I mean, I could imagine that is great training for whenever you're going to be working on your own films because you're going to be that's
Yeah.
fast paced. You're going to have to be pulled in a
Mm-hmm.
thousand different directions. So it's great to know that as a Black woman, especially a young Black woman, like you've had those opportunities and you've actually been like thriving in them. So
Yeah.
if y'all are thinking about going into that field, here's a great example of how you do
Listen.
it. She said, "Be prepared, though."
That's it.
So let's discuss like your influences, like your creative projects and stuff. I saw you mention on Instagram, which is where I got a lot of my research from. But you mentioned that one of your favorite movies is Crooklyn by Spike Lee. So, like, who are your influences when it comes to not only film, but like even photography and videography?
My influence is life. Like I like real life things. I like authentic stories. So I feel like Spike Lee, he's one of those filmmakers that he creates authentic stories. Like when you watch one of his stories, you feel like, okay, this is so real. Like I
Yeah.
can see this like happening in real life. And that's the type of stories that I like to that's the type of story that inspire me. So like basically a lot of things that I write comes from like things that I've witnessed, things that I've been through, and just like everyday things that I see in general. Like, so that's basically what like inspires me with my work of art and like writing and stuff like that.
So your upcoming project that you said that's gonna be, you're gonna be working on in June, right? What is it
Yeah.
about?
So it's basically it's about mental health.
Okay.
At first I was gonna do a web series, but I don't want to do a web series anymore. Because I feel
Why?
like I don't know. It's just like it's the whole process that I have to put into it,
Hmm.
and it's like so much other things that I want to do. So I just want to like create a couple of short films just to get my work out there, so I can get like the recognition and stuff like that, and then I'll just like create a web series after I finish my short film
Right.
summer projects. So my series, I haven't got a title yet, but it's about a young woman. She's been like mentally and physically abused by her boyfriend, and her boyfriend passes away, and now she's like reliving those moments, and now she's like in this very dark area in her life, and she's trying to get through it. And now she's feeling like the guilt of his death because her brother killed him, and now he's like locked up
Oh
in
wow. The,
jail.
the plot
Yeah.
twist.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just really want to share like a light on mental health, domestic violence, the importance
Right.
of, speaking up and, talking to someone and getting counseling and stuff like that.
I love that. Have you ever experienced any of those things?
I've never experienced domestic violence because listen, I grew up around. I got three brothers. So I grew up around boys. I don't think no guy would ever be that dumb to ever put their hands on me. And I always tell them
Right.
like, put your hands on me. It's war.
Listen, don't go to sleep around
I
me.
don't
I
play
promise
that.
you.
I do not.
We're gonna be fighting
That's
from
I don't.
sun up to sundown.
I don't take that too lightly. Like love,
Yeah.
I love you. Is not gonna help.
Oh
It's
no.
not.
I mean, and that's not to say anything about victims of domestic violence.
Yeah,
We
because
do
I
know
know
that.
people who have experiences. So it's
Right.
like, mhm.
just I do understand what you're saying because I just you can't even raise your voice with me to a
Right.
certain level.
And I've like my ex friend, I've seen it like visually with her and her
Yeah.
ex. So just like,
So was she the
yeah.
inspiration for the kind of thought that sparked this script that you wrote?
No, she wasn't, but just like, like just seeing it from
Yeah.
people that I know, then seeing it like on the news all the time, and you just that's all you hear is like women being abused
Yeah.
physically and especially mentally. Because some people they don't think that verbal words is like
Oh, verbal
abuse.
abuse is
They don't think
ooh,
it's abuse. They think it's like, oh, she'll be okay. It's not that deep. Especially like I've seen on social media, people like, oh, it's not okay. It's okay. Like she'll be okay. Y'all making a big deal out of it. Even with the sweetie and Quavo
I
thing,
was
I'm
just
just
gonna
like,
ask.
y'all so annoying. Like he was like, that's all that happened. That's not abuse. What do you mean that's not
Yeah, I
abuse?
saw a lot of those comments. I'm just like, whether you want to
It
say
makes
who
me
started what,
cringe.
it's just it's y'all. They was like, oh yeah, I don't need to know about my relationships. I don't want to know about your relationships, and I hope
Mm-mm.
you heal because that's not
Yeah,
okay for anybody to do that. But we ain't gonna harp on it because I know a lot of people have been talking about it. But that was just something that even me, I looked at it and I was just like, no, this is
yeah,
wrong.
right.
But we definitely need more films that aren't afraid
Hmm.
to shed light on the truth. Um, I think, in my opinion, I think a lot of times, um, Black writers or creatives, filmmakers, they steer away from the mental health portion just because it's still
Hmm.
taboo even in our own community. So to know someone
Yeah.
is trying to touch on it in a very real way, I'm excited to see this project. So,
Thank you.
all right. When did you realize you had a serious connection with like spiritual elements and like just being behind the lens?
Um, 2018. After I
Okay.
graduated college, after I graduated grad school, it was like that transition from like school, because I was in school since 2010 up until, no, let's start from when I was a little kid. I was in school
It
since
still count.
like 1990 something,
Forever.
straight to like I graduated in 2018. Like I went from I did took a year off after undergrad, but it's like I went right back to school and I was at school for 3 years. So it's just like that's all I knew. I
Mhm.
wasn't like never pushed out in the world because when I was taking that year off, I was living with my grandparents. So I never was like out by myself. So like just being out by myself and just trying to find me, like who am I? Like what do I want?
Mhm.
It was just like, okay. And that's when I started learning more. And, just SCAD is a very diverse environment. So, like, just being around different diverse people and learning from them, I'm just like, okay, I think I might be interested in that. Let me do my
Right.
research and see what that's about. So, that's when, like, spirituality came like really big for me. I started doing my research, and I started tapping in.
Got you. How old are you?
I'm 28.
28. When's your birthday?
Yeah, May 28th.
Oh, so you're about to be 29.
Yes.
So wait, you're a Gemini.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm not picking up the vibes, but I'm not good at picking up all the vibes. So I am not an expert. um, but okay, yeah. I'll be looking for some different stuff throughout the conversation. But you know what? Actually, I take that back. That's probably why that you're able to juggle so many different creative ventures, like your
Hmm.
focus and everything. But you're just knowing
Yeah,
how to balance it all is a great
right.
part of being, having that Gemini energy. What creative avenues have you taken to like perfect your craft, like to get better besides school?
Um, I took like workshops. Like I do like a lot. I still do go to like different workshops now.
Mm,
I follow like a lot of like my social media is full with people that's like the film and TV industry and people that does yoga and that eat that's vegan, holistic and stuff like that. So
right.
like every time they have like a workshop or anything like that, I'm always like, okay, let me hop on this because I'm a student. I always consider myself a student because I'm always open to learning
Yeah.
more. I can never know too much, and I don't know everything. So it's like I just go to like to different workshops. I don't know.
Good question.
Yeah, it's like, I do workshops. What was the question again?
It's just how do you go about perfecting your craft outside of like
Oh,
traditional schooling?
yeah, I do it myself. Like that's the only way I could learn really is like just going out and doing it myself.
Right.
So yeah, just
And
doing
trying it.
workshops, YouTube, and just doing it myself.
YouTube University.
Yes. Or
um,
Google.
I'm a fan of the Google. Yeah, that's how I've learned so much stuff, especially with the podcasting through Google,
Hmm.
through YouTube. So I can
Yeah.
understand that. How do you handle like the equipment advancement? I would imagine that every so often, especially you being in a field that's both creative and technical, like
Ooh.
cameras and stuff like that. How do you keep up with that? Because I know one person might say, "Oh, this is the best thing that you should get now," and how do you balance that?
Um, what I've learned as a filmmaker and a photographer, like using equipment, it's usually not the equipment that makes the best product. It's wait, can you hear me?
Oh yeah. I was about to say something
Oh,
happened
I
just now.
was my bad. My computer just keep dying. I don't know how to stop it from falling asleep. But yeah, so I was saying that it's not the equipment that makes great products. It's the artist that makes it.
Right.
Because the equipment is the tool to help you make it, but it's like you have to know the knowledge of how to set it up,
Right.
knowing like what's good light and what's not good light, how to set up good light, like. So it's basically I just learned the equipment in and out. And if I feel like it's not like giving me the best quality, then I just do my research and see like what do I need to use or do to make it the best quality. I remember actually when I first moved here, I had got a job interview and it was they was testing me on a camera that I never used before. And they asked me a question. I was like, oh, I don't know, but let me Google it right quick.
Okay.
Yeah, so I Googled it and I was like, okay, here's the answer. And that's how I really got hired because it was like, oh, she's resourceful. Like she know how
Right.
to like if something is wrong, she know how to go look it up and figure it out.
And
So it just
troubleshoot.
basically, yeah. So it just basically, just like learning the equipment in and out. You have to know it. It's like I don't like the technical part. Like I'm really trying to get away from videography really because I really just want to direct and produce and write. Like I be stressed out because I'm a full-time videographer, so I be stressed out at work when I have like technical problems. I'm like, okay, not again.
Like I don't even know how
I
to
mean,
fix this.
I figured it out, but it's just like the process of trying to figure it out. It's like, child.
Listen, I say that all the time about this podcast. It's just like all this stuff behind the scenes, all this the board and the mics. Like I don't care.
Right.
But I mean, I've learned to have a deep appreciation for it, especially now since
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a lot more in my own studio or in my own creative room. Um, I've learned a lot more and I realized that it makes me a lot more self-sufficient whenever I do know how to do these things on my own instead of relying on someone else. So I mean, I always knew that and I always wanted to be self-sufficient, but I was still kind of relying on other people to do stuff and relying on going into a studio to record. So
Mm-hmm.
just having that self-sufficiency and like you said, knowing how to troubleshoot so that if something does happen, you can still keep it rolling. I mean, it's a skill.
Yeah,
We might not
it
like
is.
it so much, but it is a skill that we'll always be able to have.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned you're a full-time videographer. Like, is it difficult working with people when it comes to like creative differences or vision?
Sometimes, yeah, because we all have different visions. We all like see something in different ways. So just being able to like, sit down and compromise, communicate our vision, see where we can compromise to make the vision work together.
Hmm.
Sometimes people go with it. Sometimes people are just like, no, I don't want it that way.
Right.
So just like how do we communicate effectively? How do we work together to make sure that we're producing the best product and the best work that we can?
Right. Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
You like, yeah, I do a job.
Right.
Like it ain't my vision, but okay.
But for the most part though, I it's just me and this one other guy, and I'm like, the senior producer, the senior videographer. So I do make mostly everything myself. So I mean, I just be like doing it, chilling. They like it, so that's all that matters.
That's really all that matters. But it's awesome to be able to be working in a field that is a creative. I think,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a lot of us do things on the side, you know, but for you to be a full-time person in a creative avenue, I think that's just, I think it's awesome. And that's something I'm gonna try to, you know,
Yeah.
get towards in my life at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. How do you go about creating? Like how do you get in your zone? Like whenever you're writing, when you decide that you're gonna be directing something, like what's your zone?
Um, I'm weird. I like to sit on the floor and write.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So yeah, so like I'll just like make me a palette on the floor and just sit on the floor. Like if I get like writer's block, I'll just have to like, all right, let me meditate right quick, because meditation definitely helps clear my brain from like
Mhm.
every other thing that I'm thinking about. So like just meditating, sitting on the floor. I do like to go to the park as well. That's what I get a lot of inspiration from, just sitting at
Mhm.
the park. Um, or like going to like a coffee shop. Like most time, if I'm not sitting on the floor in my house, then I have to go someplace else to get my work done. Because I
You know,
can't get my work done behind this chair or in my bed. If I'm in my bed, I'm going to sleep.
I can do like I only really record in this room. I know that sounds awful because
Hmm.
I've set up my creative room to like be everything I need it to be, but I don't really write in here. I write everywhere else. So I can sit
Hmm.
on the couch for a couple hours and I have to go sit on the bed for a couple hours, sit on the floor for a couple hours. And every so often I have to change. And like you said, if I feel like I do have like writer's block, or even when I'm writing an episode, because I write episodes, like I actually
Right.
do write them. Um, Taking a walk, going somewhere, going to a coffee shop, going to the park, like you said, like, or just walking around my neighborhood. I have to like move. I have to get the energy moving.
Yeah.
And kind of a lot of times it's like all those ideas will be merging together and it's kind of like chaos. And so I have to do something
Hmm.
to kind of focus that energy.
Yeah.
I get it. How long does it usually take you to like finish like a screenwrite, like a yeah,
A
how
screenplay.
yeah, screenplay. I was like, how do I say that? Oh my God, that's not
Well,
right.
the one that I'm producing, working on now, it's taking like a month.
Okay.
It's 5 pages. I did 3 drafts. So yeah, it took like a month to do. And it all depends. This is only 5 pages. Like after this, I want to like, because I wrote another one too. So after I finish these two, I want to write like a feature film, and I'm
Mhm.
excited about that. That's a comedy, and that's like comedy isn't really my lane. So like the idea came to me, and I feel like I need to do it because I haven't seen it yet. So
Right.
it's like, okay, I feel like this can be turned into something. Maybe I could pitch it. It could get picked up or something, or like even sell it. So I'm excited about that. So I think like with a feature, it all depends. It could take months. Sometimes, like I've heard people say it takes them like years to finish a feature.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
I would
I guess it's
imagine.
like all on me and like the ideas that come.
I mean, cause yeah, you've had people that say they'll write something in like a couple of days, and I guess
Yeah.
like when inspiration hits and whenever that creative energy keeps flowing, you just roll
Hmm.
with it.
Yeah. Like Tyler Perry, he be doing it in like a day.
Well,
He on a whole nother level.
what are your thoughts about Tyler Perry? I know he's a kind of a controversial figure for the Black community in some ways. Like,
Hmm.
what do you think about his projects?
Girl. I
I
mean, I
mean,
like what he's doing for the community, the opportunities that he's providing.
mhm.
Um, but the narrative, baby, I'm just not too into the narrative that he chooses, especially for Black women. Like,
Yeah, I'm with you on that
and,
one.
I watch Sisters. It's like every episode, I'm like, Tyler Perry, you can do this. You can do it. Don't go down the wrong lane. And every episode, he disappoint me.
It's like
Like,
it
okay,
always veers off somewhere it didn't
yeah,
have to. It's like, why do he
right.
have
I'm
to
just
do
like,
that?
okay.
Yeah,
But I feel like I know some people is like he need writers, but I understand like as a creative, as a millionaire, you can do what you want. You can write what you want.
yeah.
So it's just like
But are you
from
doing
my
it
from
accurately?
yeah, but it's like when you get to do something that you love every day, like he's
Yeah.
waking up and he's doing what he loves. It's like that's something that he loved doing, and he's not lacking from anything. He's getting paid from it. He still got a good audience. So it's just like I have a few audience that's like, I need to get right, but I still have this big, large audience that love what I'm doing. I'm still getting the views.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff is still being produced. So I'm gonna just keep writing it myself. That's like I understand him from like an artist point of view, from like a filmmaker point of view, but from
Right.
like an audience members, like, okay,
And a Black woman.
can you please, yeah, right, from a Black, I'm like, can you please, like, just can you please get one?
Can we be
Can Oprah
happy?
sit in there with you? Can Ava DuVernay sit in there with you? Can Issa Rae sit in there with you, please?
Right. Because like you said, I do get like our projects are our babies. Like, especially
Yeah,
when I ain't got no kids. Like,
right, exactly.
so not wanting to give up control, but I do think it's something to be said
Mhm.
about having people around you that you can draw like ideas from. So it might not be the person
Mhm.
that's writing it with you, but hey, what do you think about this scene? Am I saying this in the right way?
Mhm.
How would this really play out? And I think, even if he doesn't have like a writer's room, have some Black women read it
Right.
from different generations
Or
before you
let us know
put
that
it
you got
out.
Black women reading it so we can correct them too.
Yeah, that too. That's why I said from different generations, because
Right.
some people don't really
Yeah.
have a problem with his shows. And
Yeah.
it's like, teach his own. But
Right.
and we veered off, but I just thought it was necessary. I love getting opinions about different stuff. What do you think about Issa Rae?
And she's dope. She
Always,
is
yeah.
so like, I love her. I love what she's doing for the community, for her people. Like she's making big moves, and I love to see it.
Yeah. It's
Like,
like she just keeps elevating and you can't even be
yeah,
mad.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's so dope. I love her.
I'm kind of mad that they canceling or they're
Yeah,
in
Insecure.
Insecure, but I can see why. Like you don't want to
Yeah,
dragging something out until it's no longer good. So I guess it's good to end on a high note.
yeah. I feel like
um,
as an artist, she's probably outgrowing it too, and
yeah,
she's ready for something different because that started her career. So it's like this started. I'm ready to do some other things.
and that happens. I think about that often,
Yeah.
like the different things that I've outgrown throughout the years, and come
Hmm.
into my own creative energy. So you have to keep evolving with your own self. Like, don't keep yourself stuck just because it's expected for you to keep providing on some level. Other people expect you to do it.
Right.
All right. I think I already asked that question. So, what makes you unique as a model, as a film maker, as a videographer, as a screenwriter? What makes you unique?
I'm me. It's only one me. It's only one me. I'm an individual. I love who I am. I love what I do, and it's like I don't care to be anyone else or to work like anyone. I don't care to be Issa Rae or Ava DuVernay. I inspired by their work, but I
Mhm.
don't want to be them. I want to be in my own lane. I want to create my own thing because it's stuff that I want. It's stuff that I want for Danica and stuff that Danica want to do for her people as well. And it's not the same as
Right.
them. So just like being me and being authentic makes me unique, and it makes everyone unique when you could just be who you are.
I love that. I mean, and people would think that's such a cliche answer, but that's really the
Hmm.
only answer. It's like I'm me. Like
Yeah.
nobody's gonna be coming at it from my perspective because it's
Hmm.
mine, and nobody's gonna be able to feed into the project or whatever the way that I can because it's my creative energy. So
Hmm.
that's what makes it unique.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think about film and things of that nature being oversaturated? Do you feel like it's a lot of demand for Black talent in that area?
I don't feel like it's oversaturated. I don't think it's enough.
Yeah.
I don't think it's enough going on. But I feel like we need, especially for Black filmmakers. We need more Black filmmakers. Like it's our
Mhm.
story. Like we have some great filmmakers, but we still need more because there's so many stories that need to be told from our perspective, from our point of view. A lot of these stories that's directed by Black filmmakers is produced and written by
White.
white filmmakers. you know,
Yeah.
or even if it's written or directed by a Black filmmaker, if it's being produced by a white filmmaker, they want you to tell the story this how and that how. So I
Mm,
just feel like we need more Tyler Perry's. That's what we need.
yeah.
So we can tell our story how we want to tell our story, and we won't have these people telling us how to tell our story just to sprinkle a little snowflake on it, you know?
Right. Have you
I
been to
don't
the
need that.
studios in Atlanta?
No, because I wanted to go visit Tyler Perry Studios, but because of COVID,
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's they're not like letting people come visit.
But I thought Atlanta was open.
Atlanta is definitely open.
Been open, stayed open, never closed.
Atlanta is definitely open, but your girl is always working.
Hey, I get that.
Always working.
So, like you said, so your goal in this year is to just find space for yourself, for your
Yeah.
creative. Okay.
hmm
What is your own favorite project from your portfolio?
My favorite project. Well, this project is not my project. I did directed a scene in this project, and I was an assistant director. But one of my good friends from SCAD, she directed and produced a film called Ancestors.
Mm,
And it's basically about how your ancestors visit you in your dream, and how some people feel like they're haunted by their ancestors, but it's really like a message being thrown at you. It was like a really really fun experience in a project, because we actually got to go to an actual like historical museum, and we shot there. It's this place in Georgia, I forgot the name of it, but it's like a very popular place like for spiritualists and stuff like that. So
mm,
like that's when my love for spirituality like really grew as well, because I was on that project and I was like in a museum looking at all these different things and just learning so much. I was like, oh wow, this is like so freaking dope. Like
right.
this is what my people did, you know?
This is us.
Yeah. So it was like a really fun experience, just to like not only learn something new, but just to do something that I love
All
doing.
right. Okay. So we're gonna flip it a little bit, and we're gonna start talking about
Flip the
support.
script.
A little bit, just a
Yeah.
little bit. Look, this is an appropriate response for this episode.
hmm
um, what was the reaction from your circle, like your family, your friends, and everyone else around you when they discovered what you wanted to do with your life?
My family has been very supportive.
Okay. They didn't think it
They,
was too
especially
far
my mother.
fetched.
You have some people in my family that, they wanted me to go the regular route, become a teacher, doctor, lawyer, da 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 da.
Hmm.
But that's not my route. That's not my ministry.
Right.
But my mother, like, no matter what I do, no matter, she's always like there supporting me. Like, she be on me. Like, even like I have a YouTube channel as well, and she be trying to tell me what I need to do with my YouTube channel. Did you post that or that? I'm just like, okay, manager. you know,
No, rather,
I
well,
I love that from her. But then I did have some people that I knew, like even when I first decided I was going to go to film school, a lot of people were telling me not to do it,
mm,
stuff like that. And then like me graduating film school and then going to live with my grandparents, they didn't. Well, my grandfather, he really didn't care. He just like, as long as you're doing something positive.
yeah.
But it's more so like my grandmother, she was just more so like, oh, you need to, because I was a substitute teacher as well. So I was like substituting when I first moved to New York, and then like doing, gigs here and there. But she wanted me to do that
Mhm.
full time. Like that ain't my lane. I know I can't be a teacher full time because I don't have the patience or whatever. And
Okay.
like, so it's like I can't work a job full time knowing that I am talented in another area, because while I'm at work, I'm not gonna be focused enough. And it's like, not only am I like setting myself up, I'm setting the company up too. And I don't want to be that person
Wow.
to like provide bad, work or whatever. So it was just like a lot of people in my family, they didn't understand like what I had to go through to get to that next level. They didn't understand I had to sacrifice, you know, not having to work a 9 to 5, or not having this job or that high paying job or that high paying job, because I knew that this is what I want to do. And sometimes I have to work for free to get to where I want to be. So it
Right.
wasn't it wasn't like more so of a support thing, it was more so of like a they didn't understand.
Mm.
But when they see me like doing this and doing that, like in 2020, I was traveling. I went to Hawaii, I went to Japan. So they saw me doing that and they were like so happy for me. I'm just like, okay, finally, you
And
guys
finally,
understand a little something. Yes.
you seeing what I
So
knew
like
was
when
there all along.
yeah.
Relax, heal, and embrace a better you. Spa Dani offers quality yet affordable massages customized just for you. Let Dani create a space for you to hit the pause button. Who doesn't need that at the start of 2021. Why not start today? You can call or text at 843-687-2079. That's 843-687-2079. You can also message her on her business page at SpaDani_ on Instagram, or follow her on Facebook at SpaDani LLC. You can also book online at SpaDaniExperience.com. That's SpaDaniExperience.com. Treat yourself, be good to yourself, and let 2021 be a whole vibe.
Like when I started like making these moves and stuff like that, then it was like, okay, so yeah, okay, you did your thing, you know. So I don't really have like a problem with support. Like they support me like regardless, but sometimes they just don't understand, and I understand that they don't understand. Like I don't like, you know, blame them for them or fault them for them or hate them for that. Just like I know what I got to do, and it's like you just have to watch to see me make that move.
And sometimes you're gonna have to watch to understand what I've been trying to do the whole time, you know, because some people, the realest thing someone said, and I think it was on another creating space, and forgive me that I'm forgetting which one it was on because I've done a lot now, but they said that it's your job to show people how they're supposed to support you. I think that was Easy. Shout out to Easyola. And sometimes people are just not going to know how to do it because it's your dream. It's the same vision that you have for it. On the outside looking in, it looks different.
Yeah.
So I remind myself that too, because when I first started writing, and I think by the time I started podcasting, I had pretty much knew what it was. But when I first started writing, I was just like, these people ain't supporting me and blah, 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 you know, getting bitter. Like, and I had to check myself like, girl, calm down. Like, it's okay. Like, just keep doing what you're supposed to do. And then eventually people will start seeing it. Like, but remember the purpose of why you started in the first place. And the purpose was not to, you know, have this kind of support. The purpose was to create. So always keeping that in the forefront. So let's discuss some ups and downs of being like a multifaceted creative, because you do, as we said multiple times, a few different things. Like, how do you juggle that?
Girl, I don't know.
That's honest.
Man, I be asking myself, I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I setting myself up? Like, girl, relax. You know? I guess like for me, I have to make a to-do list. I'm like, okay, today I'm gonna concentrate on this. Like, I don't try to like do everything at once. Like that used to be me. I used to try to like, okay, I'm gonna do everything. Let's do this, and that. And then I never like completed anything. So now it's just like me just like focusing on one thing, finishing that, and then going to the next. So it's just basically being able to know your boundaries when it also comes to like creating and picking up so much things, knowing when your body tells you no, to actually rest.
Right.
Relax, because I do like on Sundays, I'm just like a relax. I don't do nothing. Sometimes I have my phone on D&D. Don't call me. Don't talk to me. No, because this is me time. You know, I need time for myself because Monday through Saturday I'm at work.
Yeah.
So just basically, you know, just having like a to-do list and a schedule, and then managing myself because I can't manage time because time will keep going.
Regardless.
So, you know, eating right, working out so that my body can actually function right. So I won't be so tired, getting enough sleep at night, you know. So it's just basically managing myself so that I can like be fully alert to function and functionable to work on my own stuff.
Right. Are you on the vegan kick or a vegetarian, pescatarian?
I'm a flexitarian.
I like that.
No, because it's a real thing. When I tell people that, they were like, a flexitarian, like look it up, Google it. I'm a flexitarian. Like I eat. Like I don't eat red meat. The only chicken I do eat is Chick-fil-A, and I love Halloween. That's the only reason why I can't give up chicken, you know. But you know,
I was like, I love it too much.
Yeah, for the most part, I do like, you know, I try to stick back from the chicken. I don't eat it like every day or every week, you know. So it's like I'm very conscious of what I put inside my body.
Yeah.
I drink tea every day. Like that's my tea and water is my go-to. Yeah, I eat a lot of vegetables and fruits, so I've been very conscious about that.
I've been saying I'm gonna get better. I can't be I can't just cut stuff out cold turkey because I don't eat seafood. So I know a lot of people say,
I me either.
you don't see. I knew we were gonna be cool. Like, and I just be like, y'all, I can't just go vegetarian because a lot of vegetarians still eat seafood, which is not true vegetarian, but whatever. So I've been trying, like you said, I don't eat a whole lot of meat. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I do still eat red meat though, because steak is good. I ate that steak last night with some fried rice and some vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that though, I'm very intentional, like you said, with what I put in my body.
Right.
And this month I've given up sparkling water because that's like my Achilles heel. I've given up
Mm-hmm.
pork, which isn't hard, but I forgot and I got like a pack of bacon in my refrigerator like 2 days ago.
Oh
so,
wow.
so I'm gonna have to give that away. But yeah. Um
I don't think you really have to like go cold turkey and not eat meat to be healthy. It's just like, being aware of like don't consume too much of it, just having a
mhm.
balance of like, okay, at least eating it once a week at the most,
Yeah.
maybe 2 times a week, but like eating it every day, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, and it's so many men that I come in contact with and they just love meat. They'll get a whole plate of meat. And I'm like, where are your vegetables? Where's the side? What are you doing?
What?
I don't even like the taste of meat by itself. What are we doing here?
I can't. I can't.
Yeah.
No.
Right, but you wonder why your stomach hurting late at night.
Exactly.
Oh man. Okay. So what have you learned about like actually gaining support for like the projects that you're currently trying to work on? So like have you started that process of trying to like get, people actors and stuff like that? How's that been?
Yeah, that's been easy.
Has it
Like
been really?
a lot of people have been like very supportive, very, happy, to like work on my project. My crew is like my cast is fully casted. Like,
Mhm.
I met some people that I know, or whatever. And I have a film page. I don't know if you know about that. I have a film page called Millennial Film Crew.
Okay,
Where I
yeah, no,
post
I
like
did visited that. Yeah.
inspiration. Yeah. I post inspiration. Like, my goal with that is to like help independent filmmakers like find more work and and opportunities. So I just posted my call sheet on there, and a lot of people like email me with like their reels and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, okay. So I was like, oh, that's cool or whatever. So like I have like my full cast. I'm still looking for a crew, but I do have like a DP that's working with me as well. So
Okay. So you have your personal Instagram page. You have your
mhm,
videographer page, right? Or in
mhm.
your photographer slash. And then you have the kind of like networking page that is it any more pages?
And my waist bead page.
In your Waistbee page on
Yeah,
top of your website. So you
right.
everywhere. You got your hands in a lot of stuff. And I'm very
Mhm.
impressed because it's just like you said, it's from where I'm sitting, it looks like you're handling the balance of it all pretty well. Because I've seen
Well, I
people
try.
try to do a lot and it's like they
Mhm.
don't really go too far because they don't ever finish or ever follow
Mhm.
through. So
Right.
um how do you connect with other creatives? Like when you do want something outside of what your circle can provide for you, how do you go about that process?
Social media.
Yep, pretty much.
I'm a part of a lot of film groups. I post like, can anybody help me with this or that on social media when needed to. And like social media is like definitely a big resource that I appreciate. I use it correctly. I'm there to network and to
Yeah,
learn. I don't be there to like, on that other stuff they be on. So
I feel
yeah,
you.
I love social media about being able to network and
Right. You use it as a tool that it can be.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like some people look at it as a negative too, but I mean, you make it. You like it is what you make it.
Yeah.
So
And it's a great tool. Like you said, you
yeah.
meet people. How would I know who you were had it not been for social media? I wouldn't know you.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it is what it is. And so like you use it as a tool and whenever you need a break from it, you take a break. That's it.
Right. Hmm.
Um, what kind of support do you currently need as a creative and a business owner?
Um. Once I'm able to get to where I want to be at with stuff, say shooting essentials, I want an assistant so that they can like do all like the package. the shipping and just
Mm-hmm.
working on the website and social media. But as far as like my filmmaking, I'm actually looking for like a solid team because I'm new to Atlanta, so I don't really know much people here. So just like a solid team that I can like create with, every day that I want to, whenever I need to, like if
Yeah,
I need like a producer or a writer or a director or a DP, I could be like, oh, I can call this person, know that that person will be there to like help me. So just like finding a solid team and a tribe that I can continuously to create with.
I like that. All right. Would you do this without like a following? So like let's say you put out your first project and
Hmm.
I know this is a lot of things with creators, like we don't get the response that we want sometimes. Do you feel like you can keep going?
Um, yeah, because I don't do this for anyone. I do it for me.
Mm.
For one. So when I create, I don't care if only one person look at it because it's such like a good feeling like when you go through the process and you finally finish and you're
Yes.
able to say like, dang, I did that. That
Mm-hmm.
was my baby and I completed it. And I've been through this and that. And although it wasn't what I expected, I learned from it and I grew from that. So I feel like for me, for number one, it's for me to be able to share with others.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love
yeah,
that.
I'll still do it. I don't
I feel
care.
the same. I was just like, the hope is to
Yeah.
grow. We work towards
Mhm.
growing, but at the end of the day, like you said, a lot of the things I do started with what was inside of me that I wanted to get out, not just
Right.
have other people engaged with it, but I just needed to get it
Hmm.
out.
Right.
I needed to create, and that's what I do. So, um, yeah, I think that's always interesting. I've seen how my answer has changed throughout the years with that question.
Hmm.
So that's why I try to ask every creative I come in contact with,
Yeah.
that question. If you could work with any filmmaker or actor or actress locally, who would it be?
Locally,
Locally, and then I'll ask worldwide.
I don't know if she's here, but I know she's filming here. But what's her name? What's her name? What's her name? Nafisa. Nafisa. She
That
played in
sounds
Black
familiar.
Lightning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I would.
Gorgeous.
I think she's so dope.
Hmm.
Like she's a great actress, and just like watching what she do for her community, I feel like she's just so dope to work with. Like, I would definitely work with. I would want to like her to be in one of my films for
Right.
real. Um,
Now, when that
as
happens,
far
I'm
as
gonna pull
like
this clip and I'm gonna send it to you.
right, as far as behind the scenes, like with production, who I work with, locally in Atlanta. Let me see. I don't know. I don't know. I I
You gonna pull
can't
up on
think right
Tyler
now.
Perry?
Like, I feel like he's not like oh, I need to work with him for me. A lot of people, did you work with Tyler Perry? Yeah, did you go to Tyler Perry studios? Like, I'm not eager to do that. Like, if it happens,
Right.
it happens, but it's not like, oh, I need to do this, I'll feel good about that. But he's not like someone I'm just like, I need
Right.
to
He's.
work with him.
I feel you.
Yeah. I admire his work. I admire his work ethic and everything that he do, but he's definitely not someone I'm eager
Right.
to work with.
Because all creatives
But
are
I
made
really,
different. Yeah.
yeah. I'm trying to think because there's so much going on, but I just can't think right now of like
It's
who's in
okay.
Atlanta that I would want to work with.
What about worldwide?
Worldwide, definitely Ava DuVernay.
I can see that.
Um, yeah, and Issa Rae. I feel like Issa Rae, her her balance to like be goofy and then serious and
Hmm.
then goofy. I can deal with that.
What about
Cause like we
actress?
could be an actress worldwide. Let me see. An actor would be Kofi. He's dope.
Mm. Can I be anonymous,
Yeah.
please?
Lakeith
Oh,
Stanfield.
he's a great actor. He really.
Yes, Lakeith
Uh,
Stanfield. I'm trying to see one of my favorite actors. I could do Angela Bassett
oh, that's a
and
good
Regina
one.
King. Regina King and what's my girl name? What's my girl name? Oh dang, Olivia from Scandal. Kerry Washington.
Kerry Washington. I was about to say, look, all I was thinking was
Oh,
Olivia
like
Pope.
Regina King Regina King and Kerry Washington are underrated. Like,
What if you had a movie with all three of them in it?
oh my
Oh my!
gosh.
Listen, I don't even know what the movie is. I just want to watch it.
Yes. But like recently I'm learning like, yo, Regina King, and they both act and direct, and like
Mhm.
just watching Kerry Washington. Oh, she's so passionate.
She
Like
is.
she is so passionate, and I love that about her. Oh
I'm
my
trying to
gosh.
think. Didn't she have a hand in the Little Fires Everywhere that's on Hulu?
Yeah,
And it
she was
was
in that.
such a like it was just
Yeah. Oh
such
my
a
god, it was
good
so good.
series.
Yeah,
But I think
it
she
was.
was behind the scenes too. I have to check on that and see if
She
I'm.
probably was. But she directed on Insecure as well. She
I did
directed an
see
episode.
that because when the credits came, out, I said, "Carrie, watch this."
Yeah, and I remember Yvonne that played Molly. She was just like, yeah, because Carrie don't play like she's like, I had an attitude with her, but I mean, we cool, we cool. I was like, she was like, she was telling me to do this. I'm just looking at her like, huh?
Okay, so this is gonna veer off. What do you think about the Issa and Molly friendship?
Um, I feel like that's like friendships and for real. I feel like that friendship is authentic. Um, but I just I feel like Molly Issa deserves better. Molly is very selfish.
Mm,
Molly is very selfish. I can see some narcissistic traits in her.
mhm.
And I feel like Issa, because Molly, she's a lawyer.
Yeah.
Issa is like more so on the creative side. So it's just
Mhm.
like you have one that's built into structure, and then
Mhm.
you have the other one just like free spirited, like I'm gonna just do whatever I want to do and
Right.
not care. Like she's more so the free spirited. I'm a just living life, experiencing. And more Molly's more conservative. She care about what people think about her, how she look and stuff like that. So it's like since she's so conservative, she expect Issa Rae to be the same way. So because she feel like if I'm around Issa Rae, it's a reflection of who I
Who I
am,
am,
and what
you know.
I do and stuff like that. So it is more. You have to be very very conscious of the people you surround yourself with, especially
Mhm.
like as like in different work fields and stuff like that, because as a creative, you're just so free spirited. Like you don't have any real attachment
Yeah.
unless you like work a 9 to 5. But when you do work a 9 to 5, you just like, I need to pay my bills. So I just gotta do
Child,
what I gotta do and get off and go back home and start
me
creating,
at my 9 to 5 every 9 to 5 day, every day.
but it's good to see that dynamic between the two, a lawyer and a creator,
Yeah.
friendship, and how some friendships is really like that.
I always think it's interesting because whenever like the series is still going on, I saw how people were dividing and they were getting on the Molly hate train. And I'm not an
Hmm.
advocate for Molly, but what I did know was like I was like, they're both wrong.
Hmm.
They both are flawed. Um, they both trauma bond with each other.
Yeah,
And it's just an interesting dynamic. I just love that
they both stubborn. Is I don't know
both
what
stubborn, both
stubborn.
well actually Issa actually been she did cave in at the end
Hmm.
and Molly was
Yeah,
just,
she did. Yeah,
you know, but
but they were at the beginning. They were both stubborn.
right. But I can see you making stories like that people can relate to because that's why it's so popular. Because
Hmm.
she's just telling a story that
Yeah.
everybody has experienced on some level or seen, and it's just so relatable. And it was so crazy because
Hmm.
real friends were arguing over who was right and who was wrong. It's like y'all ain't even having no
Yeah.
issues in your own friendship.
Now it's about to be an issue.
Okay,
Okay.
but now it's an issue because you team Molly and she team Issa. It
And
was
guess what?
crazy.
Now Insecure is over.
Right. The same thing with team Issa and team Lawrence. People breaking up over it.
I mean, Issa was wrong. She
She was
slipped and
wrong, but
cheated.
emotional neglect is a thing. I try to
Yeah.
remind people. It's like, yeah, he wasn't doing right. So
I feel like their relationship just wasn't strong enough to last because it was no communication
all the
and no
communication was
understanding.
trash. Cause,
So
mainly because Issa is passive aggressive, which led into
yeah.
issues she had with Molly. But we ain't gonna go there. But she says that in the first episode. She says I'm passive
Mm-hmm.
aggressive, and I was like, oh god, because when you finish, you go back and look.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm sorry. I just I'm getting back on track.
it's cool.
All right, let's talk about some of the possibilities. Um, where do you want your creative projects to take you? Like, are we looking at like Grammy status?
Girl, let
Um,
me tell you how many times I don't practice for my Grammys, honey. It's coming. It's coming,
it's coming.
But I don't, dwell on that because it's just an award. It doesn't, reflect on who I am or what I can do.
Of
But I mean,
course.
if it happens, then hey, I'll have a speech ready.
Right.
But I just I'm like, if you don't know, I'm a very shy person, so I don't really like being in the spotlight like that. So I really don't aspire to be famous or anything like that. But I just want my work to like touch other people. Like
Hmm.
I want people to look at my work and to be able to relate and to be able to learn and to be able to grow and just to get something like it has to move you. If my work don't move, no one is like, okay, I need to step back and figure out what I'm doing wrong.
Right.
So just being able to like move people worldwide, get a good producer to get a big funding, $1 million, $10 million, $20 million,
Okay.
yeah, I need that funding, get some investors, and yeah, I don't really care about like, working for Hollywood because it's just so washed out. But I
Hmm.
do feel like me as a person and as a filmmaker, I feel like we can create our own community and create our own. So just being able to create my own and or help someone else or someone help me create for people like us.
Right. And you creating the space.
Yeah.
Yeah. um. Damn, what was I about to say? No, you said you're shy, and what I'm
Yeah.
figuring out about a lot of creatives is that's the thing. I am super shy and very socially anxious. I have social anxiety
Hmm.
too. So
Me
it's just
too.
like I had a photo shoot yesterday and I was nervous about it. And people in my circle, like even though they know me, they were just like, "Why are you
Hmm.
nervous?" I had to remind them, like, y'all know me on a certain level. I'm comfortable with you. I talk to you. I'm
Hmm.
vibrant with you. When I'm out in the world, I don't like being seen. I like my creations to
Yes.
speak for me.
Hmm.
Like, and so for
Right.
me to have to go out, and I did the video and the photo shoot for LVF, and it was a great experience, but I was nervous because it was just like, and I had to tell, shout out to PD, I had to tell him, I was just
Hmm.
like, I'm shy, And one thing he told me, he was like, well, when you're talented, you're not allowed to be shy. So I'll tell you that, be ready for it. That
Yeah.
speech.
That's why I'm doing my speech now, so I can be prepared.
Yeah. You said it's
Yeah,
gonna take a
like,
while.
but for me, I'll take pictures all day, but like for me, it's just like the interview process. It's like me, it's for sitting in front of the camera
Hmm.
and just like doing an interview. I just like,
Right.
uh,
Well, I hope he wasn't. My goal is to, because I know even with some artists and creators that come up here, they're nervous, and so that's why I immediately tell
mhm.
them like we're just having a conversation. I tell them that because I'm like I would want somebody to tell me, girl, it's okay, we just talking. So I try to put that out there because I know that the simplest things can be nerve wracking because you're not
Right.
used to be seen so clearly, especially when someone who's like really interested in you and they're seeing you for your
Hmm.
creative, that can be
Right.
uncomfortable sometimes. So I appreciate you doing this interview with me.
Thank you.
um, we got a few more questions and then we're gonna get out of here.
Okay.
Um, do you have any other creative interests? Like that was the next question, but I feel like we didn't ran off the list of all
Um,
the creative arenas. Is there any
do I have
left?
any creative interest? Other than fashion?
Hmm.
I don't think so. But
Okay.
I like sports. I played sports when I was in high school. So I like watching sports. I like, going out and playing kickball or going to do yoga and working out.
Right. Are you good at
Yeah.
yoga? I'm still in the beginner stage, and I've been
I'm
doing yoga for
learning.
like 3 years.
I'm better, like from when I first started in 2014 to now. It's like,
Mm,
okay. Like I don't do it every day, but it's like when I do have time to do it
yeah,
or whatever, I'll just like, okay, I want to like, do my yoga. I want to go work out and do stuff
yeah.
like that.
Because your body can tell a difference too, especially
Yes.
like when my back
Yes,
starts hurting, I was like, let me do some stretches.
that was me yesterday. My back was hurting so bad because I was standing up all day. So I was just like, oh yeah, I gotta stretch.
Hmm.
Gotta get some stretching.
All right. What is it like being a creative in Atlanta? Like, that's a feel. It's a big market, but do you feel like sometimes you get
Hmm.
lost in the noise?
Um, I feel like it's kind of harder being a creative in Atlanta than in New York. I
Why is
thought it
that?
would be easier. I feel like well, I guess there's more opportunities in New York for me.
Hmm.
Here has been like really hard trying to like find opportunities or even find people who are serious to work with. Like I've been like reaching out like anybody want to help me with this or that. And I've even like created like a group of female filmmakers and it's just like hard for like me to get like responses from them to get people that's like really serious about their craft and serious about their work and that's ready and open and willing to like, okay, if I need help, you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm
Right.
able to help. But it's like I created a group, I created a chat, and like I barely even get responses. I'm just like, these people are not serious.
Because
I
some
don't know if
people
it's
want the fame and
Atlanta.
not the work, not put in the
Yeah, I
work.
don't know if it's Atlanta or if it's the people. And that's another thing that I realized in Atlanta. A lot of people are doing it for the fame. Like people are just looking for like a come up. People are really not serious about it. And it's like, and that's why a lot of people, I guess that's why a lot of people move to Atlanta, just like, okay, they feel like it's like a fast,
Oh yeah.
I moved there, connect with the right person and I'm up. So that's how I feel about Atlanta versus New York is like we New York, you everybody about it. Like we gotta get it. We gotta get it. Like it's hustlers in New York. We all ready to work. But
Out the
it's
mud.
like yeah. So I don't think that is really that hard, but it's just like really hard trying to like find people who are really passionate and really ready and willing to work
Right.
when need to be.
Okay. That's fair. And I asked that question because I would assume that,
Hmm.
looking in, I see a lot of it. And that's why I asked that question because I'm like, I know a lot of people who say they want to do this or say they want to,
Hmm.
be this thing, but are they actually putting in the work for it? Because a lot of people just want
Right.
that title. They want to get that fame or that clout and not actually put in the work for it. So it's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
it makes room for people like you who are serious.
Right.
um, so let's discuss the mental and financial and emotional aspects of being your kind of creative.
Hmm.
How do you juggle finances, mental, emotional, all those things that come with creating?
I'm still juggling financial. You gotta have multiple streams. You gotta think of ways like if this don't work out or if this happened, what can I do? Like when I was in New York, I was literally doing everything.
Mm,
Like I was like you have to have flexibility within your work. I was a substitute teacher. I was a background actor. I was stand-in audience. um I was a freelance photographer. I was a freelance videographer. I did hair. So it's just like having different ways that you can make money. So like when I am working on set and when I'm not working on set, I know I can do this and that to make up for the time I'm not working on set to make money or whatever. So it's just basically having the capability and coming up with ways you can make money a different way, really.
right.
Um mentally it's it can be challenging, especially as a creative and an artist when you feel like things aren't going your way.
Mm,
It can tear you down.
yeah.
Like it can really like when you're working so hard and you feel like you're not getting the recognition that you need
Hmm.
and you feel like I did all this work for nothing or you feel like okay, I'm not good enough or I don't want to do this, I want to do something else. It can tear you down mentally. So it's just having that balance to like um to be confident to know that like you don't have to be perfect.
Right.
No one is perfect. You have to know that you just have to create and to learn and grow from that. Um, that's really why I like to do yoga and like journaling, and stuff like that. And I'm real big on mental health in the filmmaking industry. I've actually been talking about that recently on my film page, about mental health
Mm-hmm.
in the entertainment industry, because a lot of suicide have come from the entertainment industry and from filmmakers and actors and actresses, because it's like a fast-paced industry. You're always working, working, working. You don't have no time for yourself.
Right.
You don't have time for your family and friends like everyone else do. So it's like you working, working, working. People see you working. People see you on TV. People see you with the money, but really inside, you're not really happy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like finding that balance, being able to say no.
Oh, that's a big
Um,
thing. Yes.
yes, being able to say no when needed. And just like stop stop making yourself work so hard. Like it's okay to take a break. It's okay to say no to a project.
It's okay. It will
Yeah,
be when you believe in yourself and truly believe in yourself, there will be another opportunity. There will always
right.
be another one.
So just like, knowing how to balance saying no, and knowing that you don't have to take on every project, and knowing when you do take on a project, when once you finish, take a break. Because like filmmakers and actors and actresses, they go like 4, 5, 6 months on a project. Take a month for yourself and
Mm-hmm.
just relax, and then go back to work. Don't just like bounce from work to work to work to work, because then you don't have time for yourself. And
Right.
if like you're no good to yourself, how can you be good to others? So with emotions, child,
That's always the hardest,
the
right?
yeah, the emotions be all over the place, because one minute you're happy, one minute is like, da 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 da, and the next minute you're just like, oh, I'm so sad, 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 and I don't know why.
Mhm.
It's like
And
sometimes I
I
just
would
find myself crying. I'm like, why am I crying?
and
What is wrong
sometimes
with
as a
me?
creative, it's like it happens when you're trying to tap into a specific thing. Like I know when I have topics and I have to tap into that specific emotion to like write about it. And then it's like it's hard for me to pull myself back out. Like, girl, you wasn't sad before you sat down and started writing. Like,
Yes.
hey. So it's always challenging. I can definitely agree with you on that one. Mhm.
Mhm. The emotions is definitely like probably the hardest for me. Just like, because my emotions be all over the place. Sometimes I be happy, sometimes I be sad, or something I just don't know why.
Mhm.
And like with emotions, you just gotta let it out. Like if you're sad, if you want to cry, cry. If you want to laugh, make yourself laugh. Look at something funny.
Right.
Talk to someone funny. Talk to someone that's gonna make you laugh and stuff like that. But emotions, you definitely should let it out, write it out, scream it
Mhm.
out. Write it down, burn it, and get rid of it. And,
Oh, I do
figure
that
it
a
out.
lot.
Yeah.
Write me a good old letter. The thing be like 4-page letter, and then I burn it.
Yes. So being a creative is an emotional roller coaster,
It is.
because
Do you think
we're
that's
so
specific?
sensitive.
Do you think that's specific to creatives though? I
Well,
mean,
as a creative, I
yeah,
can
now
be.
that
I
I
don't
think
know.
about it, because I'm just like, I'm really sensitive. But then I have a
Mhm.
cancer moon, so I feel like that's part of it.
Yeah, that's why.
It's probably part of it. And then I have a Gemini rising, so I see you, my
Oh,
sister. Yes.
yes.
But yeah, I'm very sensitive too. So it's always like something's hurting my feelings, but
And for me, I'm not even sensitive towards like people, or like people could say the meanest thing to me and I wouldn't care. It's more
right.
so like my work
Hmm.
is like I'm still like that's the only time I'm really sensitive, is like when it comes down to my work. It's like, okay.
Right. The most I've had like the emotional roller coasters I've had the past couple of weeks have really been geared towards like my creative. So it's just like
Mhm.
if something was off with it, then I fell off. Like, and so I had that experience where like my stuff wasn't 100%. And I was just like, what's wrong with me? And I had to realize, like, girl, you're not gonna feel 100% until your stuff is like good. Like, that's how connected like you are to your creative, like your projects and your babies. Like, it's it's crazy.
Yeah.
I heard you
Yeah.
mention counseling earlier. Have you ever got counseling or therapy?
No. I was thinking about doing that. I was like, okay, I'm about to be 29. I need counseling, child, because I done been through something, you know.
It's
So I
real.
haven't I've never had therapy, but I'm definitely open to like getting therapy soon.
Okay. I've been getting counseled for on and off for about 4 years now. So I
Mhm.
can't say it's definitely a great experience. It's not when you're a more resilient person, it's not something that you need all the time because I do have my
Mhm.
spells where I'm just like, okay, I'm good. I don't have to I can skip a couple of months. But then when I know my body well enough to know when it's time to start back, and it's one of those times where I need to start back. So I just asked
Right.
that question because, like you said, we don't talk about mental health enough, and especially when you're doing so much and you're pouring so much of yourself into your projects, like it's just important to stay healthy and to take care of yourself too. So I'll be
Yeah,
looking
and I feel like
forward.
the older I get, I feel like the more I feel like I'm dealing with mentally and emotionally.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, because like I wasn't dealing with this probably like a year ago or 2 years ago, but it's like now it's like okay, it's building up slowly, and
Yeah.
I just like
Yeah, stuff that you hadn't taken care of, like it might have started off small and then it's like
yeah,
growing and progressing over
mhm,
time, or stuff that
yeah,
you never knew was there. Like I have a lot of that too. It's like I never knew that was there.
right,
I didn't even know I had
mhm,
anxiety until a couple of years ago. So that was
mhm,
something that I used to beat myself up for. Like, girl, why you can't focus? Why you feeling like this? You have that inner voice
right,
is trying to make you feel like you are doing something wrong when it's just like, no, you
mhm.
just got anxiety.
I remember my first anxiety attack. I was working on a friend's project, and I just felt like everything was going left because of me, and it was like, okay,
Mm.
I just broke down in a car, and I just didn't know what to do, and it was terrible. And I'm like, what am I going through?
It's
Like, what's
real.
happening? What is wrong with me?
Mhm.
So it's like it's so hard as a creative when you're so hard on yourself and you think
Yeah.
everything is supposed to go right. But once you learn that it's okay, to fail and to mess up, then
Yeah.
you're able to control it.
I think that's why I love being on like a spiritual journey too so much now because it
Hmm.
gives me permission to be imperfect because as
Yeah.
creatives, we want perfection.
Hmm.
And so when I realized like, okay, girl, you're never going to achieve it. You can achieve your own level of perfection, but that comes from removing all kind of comparisons. Like, so don't be looking at nobody else. Don't be looking at how far somebody else than God. Don't be trying to feel someone else's shoes, just
Hmm.
focus on yourself and really do that work. So,
Right.
any advice you would give to like other creatives that are thinking about getting into like the film industry, the photography movement? Any advice?
Um, this is advice that have been given to me, and I feel like it worked. Just start creating. You don't need fancy equipment to create. You can use it's 2021, and you can use your iPhone. Okay, some people think that you need like, these fancy cameras and all these fancy equipment, but you really don't need that. Just start creating so that people can see that you can get the work done. Because a lot of people they be like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. How do I do this and how do I do that? Entertainment is like one of the hardest industries to get into. Like
Mm,
I'm still trying to get my foot into the right door that I want to be in. But like once you're able to like create your own stuff and to show that you have the capability to create and you have the capability to produce or direct or to take that picture and you have the work to show for it, that people will start looking like, oh, she did do this or he did do that. I really like that. Maybe that person can work on this project because you never know who's watching your work and you never know who because somebody might watch your work and be like, someone might ask them like, do you know anyone that can do this? And like, oh yeah, I saw this person somewhere and they did that. So just like start find you a team that you can create with. That's real big is finding your tribe and your team, people that's
mhm.
dependable that you can work with. And yeah, you gotta start it gotta start with you. In this
It
in this
has to.
industry, sadly, it has to start with you because that's the only way people are gonna be able to see your work and gonna be able to see that you're serious about what you're doing and you're not just sitting down waiting for an opportunity to come to you.
Right. Because everybody's focused on self too. Everybody's trying to
Hmm.
do their own thing. They're trying to get their message out there. So
Yeah.
you got to make sure that you're investing in yourself as much as you
And
want
then
other people to.
and we have social media.
Yeah.
It's such a great resource. Post something. Sometimes you might post something and it might go viral. You just never know. So, use social media to your best and biggest advantage.
What life quote do you live by?
Do what you love what you do. I have
I
it
love
on tatted
that.
on me.
Do you really wear?
I have a film reel right here, a film reel, and it says, "Do what you love what you do."
See, I have a tattoo on my wrist, but it's different. You won't be able to see it because I'm gonna watch one.
Yeah.
I like that. I aspire to do wake up and do what I love because it is a journey.
Mhm.
Like I'm very much a girl that has been structured for a while. So, I've been a creative all my life, but it's just now that I'm embracing it in these last couple of years. So
Yeah.
me transitioning out of traditional work and going into more creative fields is it's a little
Mhm.
nerve wracking. That anxiety is
Mhm.
there too, but I'm
Yeah.
excited about it because I know that it's going to be so much more fulfillment in my life because I'm doing something that I really want. So I love that.
That's dope.
Let's plug all of your social medias and your website for your business.
Okay, you can find me everywhere at Danny K. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. That's my personal Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. For my film is Millennial Film Crew on Instagram. Videography and photography is at She the Camera. My film YouTube is She and Film. My business is Self-Sation Essential. That's SELFSASHUN Essentials on Instagram and on Etsy. And my website is SheTheCamera.com. So
So
it's a
don't
lot.
worry, builders. It is. Look, don't worry, because I always put it in the show notes and I'll always put it in the
Yeah.
description so they'll be able to click
Mhm.
and just go and follow. Because that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I have like most of that, but I was just like, wait, I missed a couple of those. But I'll definitely be if you just shoot it to me in the DM
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I'll be able to put that there so they can find you wherever. So, and I'm going to
Okay.
be probably ordering some waist beads. So go ahead and get your
Yes.
machine up and ready.
Yes.
And you guys know me. I'm your host, K Antoinette, and you can follow me on Instagram at K Antoinette underscore the blogger. You can also follow the Let's Build Futures page at let's underscore build underscore futures and visit let'sbuildfutures.com. You could also write me and ask questions, give me topic ideas at allthingslbf at gmail.com. And remember, this is a creating space. So it's out on Friday. Next Friday, we'll have a whole new one. I hope that you've learned a lot from this creative. Thank you, Danny, for sharing and being transparent and just being an awesome guest. I really love your energy.
You're welcome.
But until next time, builders, we'll see you soon. Bye.